What was something you didn't know you needed until you tried it out? Exercise. I let myself go for a few years. During that time I didn't notice the differences from not exercising. Then after I started exercising again I was like, wow. I didn't realize how shitty I felt before. Same. It's weird to feel your body become lighter, not because of weight loss but because of you actually becoming stronger. Missing that feeling is what it's motivating me to start again. I have never worked out and have always been overweight. I am 22 and am realizing that my body does not feel strong. I want it to feel strong, but am unsure what to do and how to start. Pocket knife. Use it every day. I hope in your old age you get to become one of those chill dudes that cuts slices of apple and eats them off the blade. They often dispense great witticisms and pearls of wisdom whilst doing so. That's the dream. Or the salty dude drinking pee-bra on his front porch, talking about the war. A weighted blanket. I read about it in another Reddit thread, so tried it out, and oh sweet lord, last night was the best night of sleep I've had in months and I didn't wake up feeling like I wanted to scream from anxiety. Love mine. It makes me have the wildest, most vivid dreams, but it makes it very difficult to get up in the morning. Feels like all the energy in my limbs was just sucked out. Apparently to be the little spoon while I'm told how attractive and appreciated I am. 6'2" ugly duckling, now somewhat beautiful swan. My husband does this and it's really cute. He's 29 years old, 6'4", I'm 24 and 5'5". He always wants to be the little spoon at night, so I cuddle him and pet his hair and give him kisses. Something satisfying about being with a grown-ass manly man who needs cuddles. That's called backpacking. 8.5 hours of sleep. It's like getting a little bit of superhuman strength the next day. r/bed bros. This sub could be multiple things. SSD, solid state drive. Absolutely everyone who uses a computer should have one of these. There's no more, sorry, my computer's being slow. Every business needs this for their employees. Literally $50 turns a slow pile of garbage computer into a fast one. I got one of these as an upgrade for my home PC. 14 seconds from power button to login screen. You bet. And once you log in, it's a matter of seconds before you can have full access and use. Some computers I've worked with had 8 to 15 minute load times from boot, lol. Shopping my groceries online. It saves time, taxi money, I don't have a car, and it keeps me from buying junk food. I wish more places offered this. A good vacuum. Holy shit, it makes an amazing difference. Our house always had that kind of dusty smell and we couldn't figure out where it was coming from. So after we finally retired our $30 vacuum, we went and bought one of the nice $300 ones, and we must have had 4 full tanks of dust and hair that was still in the carpets. Noise cancelling headphones for flights. Doesn't filter out the crying babies, but you don't realize how much the engine and wind noise really wear on you. I've got Bose 35s, and if you crank up whatever you are listening to, all sounds are gone. If you're trying to sleep, I would just crank up some sleep sounds, rainforest etc., and pass out every time with zero idea of what's going on around me. Moving out from my parents' place. You don't realize how liberating it is until you're finally free. I didn't realize just how different we were until I was out on my own. Similarly, I didn't realize how miserable I was because I was pretending to be someone I wasn't. Removed. I was on the fence for buying a rice cooker. Didn't think it could be used for anything but rice. Mind blown. Ever considered working in sales? As an Asian person, I can't fathom using anything but a rice cooker for rice. I had no idea that you could make meals with it. The just in case pee before going somewhere without access to a restroom for quite some time. Cries in tiny bladder. My co-workers have asked if there's something wrong with me because I go pretty often. I drink a lot of water and have a tiny bladder. If anything, I think people aren't drinking enough water. A good mattress changes your life. My bed is the most expensive piece of furniture I have ever purchased. I can't say the same, but that is precisely how it should be. A hug. Specifically a long, comforting hug. A dog. I was 100% one of those people who turned down the idea of a dog every time my fiancé brought it up. Went to the shelter one day to donate, met a beautiful pup who has now filled my heart with more happiness than I knew I could receive, and loves her new life so much. Heart. Honey, we're just stopping by to donate. No, I don't have the ulterior motive of bringing you by a pup to fall in love with. Just happened 2 weeks ago, but I borrowed a power washer from a coworker. Holy shit. After discovering what it cleaned off my fence, newly bought condo, I was wondering what else I could clean with it. Ended up cleaning up the garage floor and manually washing my car and spraying it off with the power washer. Fence looks awesome now, and now I am looking into applying a clear sealer on it. Bidet. It will ruin pooping anywhere else for you. It has made my bathroom experiences 1,000 times more enjoyable. I have a basic one, but they can get pretty fancy. The cold water is initially uncomfortable, but after 3 or 4 uses, you don't even notice anymore. Alright, everyone talking about bidets and I don't get it. I have had bidets all my life, never used them. Do you just take a shit and instead of wiping just go to the bidet and wash up? So, there are different types of bidets. My friends and I figured this out when we went from the US to Rome. We stayed in a hostel with a bidet and were excited to use it. However, it was just like a sink next to the toilet. The bidets they sell that you can attach to your toilet seat will shoot water at your butt and do the wiping for you. A blackout curtain. Oh yeah. I just bought and installed the wraparound style for the living room and bedroom. 2 screws per side into the trim, smack the bar onto the bracket, and that was all it took. The house is cooler, darker, and I can sleep when I work 3rd shift. I do comics and I used to just jump in headfirst into a comic with only a script. But, it made the sketch/panel pass a pain. My senior thesis professor once told me to sketch small, fast thumbnails of a scene in my script before I actually drew it. I didn't want to at first, seeing it as just more work. But, turns out it made the process so much faster. I got my thesis done early and had time to animate a trailer for the end of the year showcase. I even won Best Graphic Novel. Always do thumbnail sketches, even for non-sequential art pieces. It will help you if you struggle with composition or silhouette. GPS. I think I could go back to dumb phones if it weren't for how nice GPS is. I've even looked into basic phones with GPS, but they're as expensive as smartphones and I'm not confident their service would be as good as Google Maps. Garmin still makes standalone GPS devices. https://by.garmin.com/nus/us/p/669167. So you can ditch your smartphone if you get one of those devices. But I can't stand the idea of having 2 devices when one can do the job of both. I use a standalone GPS. I'm normally out in rural England where mobile coverage can be patchy. I know I can pre-download maps, but that's not as easy as just plugging it into my cigarette lighter and driving off. Prescription sunglasses. Best $200 I've ever spent in my life. A squatty potty. Rumi got one as a gag gift for Christmas and let me tell you. Instant game changer. I nearly had a fight with my so in Costco because I put a squatty potty in the cart without saying a word to him. He was convinced it was a stupid gimmick and that we didn't need it, and I refused to leave without buying it. We hardly ever fight and he was so salty about it for the rest of the day until he had to take a shit. I got a full apology when he got out of the bathroom. I thought they were a gimmick too, and I have ibs. Then we went to a friend's one day and I immediately had to shit, couldn't hide it. They had one and I didn't feel like moving it, so I used it. I have never shit so fast in my life. Humility. I thought it was a sign of weakness and that others would take credit for your work if you were too humble. Then I read me some C.S. Lewis and my mind was blown. Humility is not thinking less of yourself, it's thinking of yourself less. I, too, am extraordinarily humble. My humility is legendary. Unfortunately expensive underwear. Sometimes ignorance really is bliss. Edit, since I'm getting a lot of questions asking for recommendations, I personally love Duluth's Buck Naked. That being said, everyone has different preferences and there are plenty of other recommendations in comments below mine. Best of luck in your undie endeavors. On a similar thread someone mentioned Saxx underwear. So I forked over the $80 for a 4-pack as a surprise for my husband. Most expensive mistake ever. Now his balls are too good for regular underwear. He physically sighs every time he puts them on. So now I scout the website constantly for sales because there is no way I'm paying regular price. Edit, holy shit. I never knew there were so many different types of underwear. Also, thank you for the silver heart. You and me both. I got a pair on recommendation on a thread like this a few years ago and I absolutely cannot wear anything else now. Laser eye surgery. Best $3,000 I ever spent. I was blind as a bat for 30 years and now I can just see. No dicking around with contacts or glasses or worrying about staying on top of my prescription. It's amazing. Any downsides? I talked to my optometrist about getting it. She told me I'm guaranteed at least 2 to 3 years of perfect eyesight. However, your eyes will continue to degrade. Some people have been able to go 10 years without needing contacts or glasses again, but you will need them again. Also, with my astigmatism, if I get LASIK, I can't wear contacts again because what the shape my eye would become, they would no longer fit. I plan on being physically active throughout life, and with how much I sweat, I can't wear glasses. So, it's not for everyone. A routine. I was always kinda loosey when it came to planning my day. Then I tried actually doing and not wishing I had a plan. A proper evening routine made wonders to my sleep and health. Now trying this for the mornings too. My son is killing at this. He goes to bed early every night. Gets up early and goes to the gym every morning, preps his lunches on the weekend, and takes them to work every day. It's made an incredible difference in how positive and successful he's been. And I still can't manage to do any of that, lol. Congrats about your son. Smile. A fan in my room at night. Just sleep so much better in summer now. Don't get me wrong, I enjoy people telling me things like please, Chocopics, can I have your autograph? And you're my favorite Redditor, you're so cool. But the whole night? I don't know, I don't think I would be able to sleep. They could sit quietly in a corner and just stare at you, as you sleep. A dishwasher. Never had one growing up or the first few places I lived as an adult. My current apartment has one and I refuse to go back. It's really rough going back. My fiancé and I had them in our first 2 apartments but not in the current one. I'm happy to live there because it's got a great location, we have no problems with our birds, and we're away from an awful roommate situation. First time living just us, but good lord is doing every dish by hand a miserable chore. A full-time job, pet care, and other home responsibilities are enough. I can't wait until we have a dishwasher again, but we'll probably be at this apartment for a while. I live in an apartment without a dishwasher, and I invested in the SPT countertop dishwasher. It's a real game changer. It's small, but portable. You can take it with you when you move. Only costs about $200 on Amazon. You have to do a load, maybe 2 every day, and it doesn't really accommodate larger dinner plates very well, but it sure beats the hell out of standing in front of the sink doing the dishes. If you do look into it, make sure you have a faucet that the adapter will fit on, and a grounded plug nearby. Seat warmers. Oh my god, it was a transcendent experience the first time I used them on a cold night. 2 monitors. Yes. Even though I don't technically need them, having 2 monitors has done more than probably anything to make work easier. If I go somewhere and have to use my little travel laptop by itself, I feel like an Old West pioneer, like maybe I'll have to start churning my own butter next. I am thoroughly spoiled with my 2-monitor setup.